I have a question for you, bro. How many books did you read in the past month? How many books did you read in the last 6 months? Zero? One? Maybe? I understand you. Because if I were to answer this question 1 year ago, my answer would have been the same. Zero. I was too addicted to social media. I was too addicted to scrolling, to decreasing my attention span, that I could not sit down and concentrate and read a book, even though I was supposed to do that. I had books that I should have read for school. Our teacher gave us books to read, and I was not able to read them because my attention span was extremely low. And is the number of books you've read so low because you didn't want to read, or because your attention span is so low that you can't sit down and concentrate? I believe it's the second option. Because I know you want to read. Who doesn't want to read? Who doesn't want to get the knowledge? And it's not fully your fault that your attention span is so low. In this day and age, there are millions of apps with built in shorts. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. All of these apps have some short form content, and it's impossible to go away from it. Only if you take a step back from all these apps. You've trained your brain to sit down and scroll and look at videos 5 seconds long, be bored watching a 10-second video, and you can't even sit through that. It's not fully your fault. These apps put billions of dollars into manufacturing it and making it as addictive as possible. And I have a story. 6 years ago, when I moved to this house, we had no internet. We had no internet. Our signal was trash. We had no TV. We had no TV channels. We basically had nothing. And because the internet was trash, like our my mobile service was trash, I couldn't even watch YouTube. I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and I couldn't even do that because I had no internet. And I started reading, and it was hard for me to read because I didn't train my attention span. I was used to having a low attention span, but I trained myself to be able to read 3 books a week. I just trained my attention span, and 5 years ago it was easy to do that because 5, 6 years ago, who had TikTok, who had Instagram Reels to look at every day? There was no such thing. The only thing that you could watch was TV, and you had to watch the ads, the 1.5 hour movie. There was no short form content. But nowadays, every single app has some sort of short form content. It's designed to make you as addicted as possible. So I don't blame you that you have the attention span of 8 seconds, but you should not be cool with that. You should not be happy with having such low amounts of attention spans. The solution to increasing your attention span is to live more like we did 6 years ago, to just take a step back from technology, take a step back from all these short form contents. Because as I said, what app did we have 6 years ago? What activity we had 6 years ago that just decreased our attention span? It was just the TV. What else? Some Xbox games. That's it. But now it's in our pocket every single second. You need to take a step back and just live more like we did a few years ago. Just live more like a human and less like a robot. And what you could do to make it easier is to think of your attention span like a muscle, like a real muscle. What you're doing right now is you're making the muscle less strong by watching all these short form contents. Because the better the muscle, the bigger the muscle, the stronger the muscle, the higher attention span you have. And the weaker the muscle, the lower attention span you have. So if you spend all of your free time just scrolling on TikTok, your attention span, your muscle will get smaller, will get weaker. So you need to put in the reps to blow up your muscle. I have a question for you. When you're at the supermarket, like in a line, what do? I bet you pick up your phone and look at the messages you have, or even just scroll on TikTok. What do you do when you get bored? What do you do when you have 10 minutes to spare in line at the supermarket, between sets at the gym, during class at school? In these times, you should be bored. But when you're bored, what do? You pick up your phone. You're between sets at the gym and you pick up your phone and change the song and look at the messages and scroll on Instagram a bit to get that dopamine boost. When you're in class, you put your head down, open your phone, and just scroll on Reddit. Now, what you did with all of these things, you just associated being bored with picking up your phone. When you feel that slight bit of boredom building up between inside of you, you just reach to your phone without even thinking about it. Has it ever happened to you that you were just existing and you blink and then your phone is in your hand? You didn't even want to pick up your phone from your pocket. You just did it subconsciously and you already opened TikTok without even wanting to. I know it happened to you at least once. By you picking up your phone when you're bored, you're making the muscle lower. You're weakening the muscle. Because how do you keep a muscle big? How do you make it strong? How do you grow it? You go to the gym, you do resistance training, you lift weights, you do things that are good for you. You eat better. The guy that sits all day in his bed will not grow muscle, but the guy that goes out, goes to the gym, eats well, does resistance training, he will build muscle, he will build strength. And it's the same with your attention span. Because as I said, it's like a muscle. If you're bored and you pick up your phone, you're making the muscle weaker. And it's the same with reading a book. And I'm talking about reading a book because when you're reading of the book, you're testing your attention span at the max. You can't read a book without having a high attention span, without having a strong attention span. Because every single person in this day and age is just complaining that they can't read. They're just too addicted to their phones and they just can't sit down and read. And that's why I'm using the reading analogy so much. Now, as I said, imagine you're reading a book. You're opening the book and you start reading. And what happens in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes? You will get bored. Maybe the book isn't interesting. Maybe you don't care about the book, but you have to read it for school. You just open it, start reading a bit, and you're already getting bored. And you train your mind to do what when you're bored? You're bored, so, I pick up my phone and start scrolling. You feel the boredom building up in you when you're reading, and it's the same boredom that builds up when you're in line at the supermarket. And you just can't focus on the book because you're reading, you just get the boredom up, and you're thinking, what if that person messaged me? What if I got a new message? What if someone posted a new story? And boom, concentration lost. And you are not focusing on the book anymore. What you need to do is to practice being bored. That's it. When you feel boredom building up, just sit with it, enjoy it. And when you're in line at the supermarket, don't open your phone, just sit there and be bored. When you are eating something, don't pick up your phone and look for a YouTube video to watch while you eat. Sit there, enjoy your meal, maybe talk with your family if they're in the kitchen. Just enjoy being bored. For every 5 minutes that you're bored, it's like a bicep curl for your attention span. The more you practice being bored, the more bicep curls you'll do, like the bicep curl being the muscle, the attention span. The more you do, the more you grow the muscles and better attention span. And the best exercise to increase your attention span, to practice being bored and enjoying boredom, is to sit and stare at a wall. You have 4 walls in your room. By sitting down and just looking at the wall, no distractions, no phone, no tablet, close off everything, be alone, and look at the wall. You will practice not doing anything. Just sit there daily, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. An hour is the best, by the way. Sit there and just sit with your thoughts. Think. Just be bored. And you will train your mind to enjoy being bored. If you enjoy being bored, doing anything will feel better than being bored. But if you're here by scrolling and your attention span is really low, you can't do the activity that is below you. It doesn't really make sense because scrolling is like at this level, but reading is here, and the baseline for not doing anything is here. But it should be easier to read because it's below you, but it's impossible. So this analogy with like this, it doesn't really make sense. But if I make it upside down, it still doesn't make sense because this baseline, yeah, I hope you understand, bro. You bring the baseline lower by staring at the wall. So you can, by you enjoying not doing anything, doing something will feel better than not doing anything. So you train your attention span to enjoy what you're doing. I hope that made any sense. So just stare at the wall and you will see how your mind will change. And in just a few days, you will be able to focus a lot more. Stare at the wall and just take a step back from this, from TikTok. I hope you don't have TikTok, bro. I hope you've deleted TikTok. Take a step back from Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. Maybe watch a podcast. Train your mind to focus on a 2 hour long podcast. And you will see that your muscle will get bigger. If you enjoyed the video, scroll down and click on the subscribe button, bro. It will help both of us, especially you. See you later. Mwah.